This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I'm Jalani Tesfaye with the latest. First, our top stories for today. South Africa's Ramaphosa to lead HIV fund replenishment. Algerian president orders efforts to exceed previous season's results. The fourth China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo closes with bumper deal signed. Now, the news in detail. South Africa will lead the next refunding exercise for the Global Fund, raising money for the international partnerships fighting AIDS after the U.S. cuts healthcare support to the continent. Winnie Byanyima, executive director of the Joint United Nations Programme on HIV/AIDS, announced South African President Cyril Ramaphosa's agreement to take charge of the upcoming three-year funding cycle at a press conference in Johannesburg on Friday. The Global Fund replenishment is critical, and it's great that South Africa has offered to lead that, she told reporters. The Global Fund, an independent partnership whose money mainly comes from public sector donors, plans to raise at least $18 billion as it launches its 2026 to 2028 fundraising cycle. The Financial Action Task Force, the global body that sets standards for combating money laundering, terrorist financing, and the financing of weapons of mass destruction, has officially removed Tanzania from its grey list of countries under increased monitoring, the Tanzanian Ministry of Finance announced in a statement on Sunday. The removal was confirmed by FATF President Elisa Di Andra Madrazo after the FATF General Meeting held in Strasbourg, France, from June 10 to 13, according to the statement. Tanzania was placed on the grey list in October 2022 due to identified strategic deficiencies in its framework for addressing financial crimes, including money laundering and terrorist financing, said the statement. President of Algeria, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, ordered, in a meeting of the Council of Ministers he chaired on Sunday, rigorous efforts to ensure that the 2025 harvest threshing campaign achieved results exceeding those recorded during the previous season. He also ordered to renew and better structure the organization chart for the implementation of the sector's plans. As regards the preparation for the summer season and the reception of the national community established abroad, the President of the Republic emphasized the need to implement all necessary measures and provisions to improve services and support for community members at airports and ports. Guinea has created a new institution that will be responsible for managing elections, including a constitutional referendum in September and the general and presidential elections set for December. The presidential decree from General Mamadi Doumbouya was read out on state television late Saturday. It said the new agency would operate under the Interior Ministry and enjoy financial autonomy. The body will organize political votes and referendums and manage the biometric voter roll using national civil and population registries. In other news, Germany, France, and Britain are ready to hold immediate talks with Iran over Tehran's nuclear program in an effort to de-escalate the situation in the Middle East, German Foreign Minister Johann Wadeful said. Wadeful said he was trying to contribute towards a de-escalation of the conflict between Israel and Iran. Germany, together with France and Britain, are ready. We're offering Iran immediate negotiations about their nuclear program. I hope the offer is accepted, he said. Wadeful, who is in Oman on Sunday, said the conflict would be ended only when influence is exerted on Iran and Israel from all sides. French President Emmanuel Macron warned that Greenland is not to be sold nor to be taken in a key visit Sunday to the strategic Arctic territory coveted by U.S. President Donald Trump, saying he's conveying a message of French and European solidarity. Macron expressed strong criticism of Trump's intention to take control of the territory. In a few words, everybody in France and the European Union thinks that Greenland is not to be sold, not to be taken, he said during a news conference, applauded by the local crowd. The situation in Greenland is clearly a wake-up call for all Europeans. Let me tell you very directly that you're not alone, Macron added.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. The 4th China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo announced 176 signed projects worth $11.4 billion, marking a 45.8% increase in project count compared to the previous edition, a news conference announced on Sunday in Changsha, Hunan Province. Chen Zhuoi, an official of the Hubei Provincial People's Government, announced these figures as the 4-day event came to an end on Sunday in Changsha. A total of 26 African nations and 23 Chinese provincial regions established dedicated pavilions, while nearly 2,100 enterprises participated, including 764 exhibitors from 43 African countries, alongside roughly 12,000 domestic and international buyers participated in the event. Finally, oil prices were volatile on Monday after surging 7% on Friday as renewed strikes by Israel and Iran over the weekend increased concerns that the battle could widen across the region and significantly disrupt oil exports from the Middle East. Brent crude futures rose 64 cents to $74 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 76 cents to $73. They had surged more than $4 a barrel earlier in the season and also fell into negative territory briefly. Both benchmarks settled 7% higher on Friday, having jumped more than 13% during the session to their highest level since January. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That is all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.